Hey guys, my name's Adam Carmichael. I'm a mindset performance coach who works specifically with professional poker players and teaches them how to get that winner's edge at the tables. In today's video, I want to talk about a big realization I had during my poker career that allowed me to catapult my career and make life-changing money for myself. And I'll show you how you can implement the same things that have massive success in your poker career. Now, I first got into poker around 2010. My favorite player was Tom Dwan. I used to watch all the high-stakes poker games and be really infatuated with what I was seeing. I was like, oh my god, these guys are playing for $1 million in a pot, and I was really obsessed with watching the game, and I was starting to become a fan of the game. And then me and my friends would play home games and try and replicate the plays we'd see the top pros play, and it was a fun time of discovering what poker was about. Now, the turning point when I started to take poker seriously was when a friend of mine discovered a website called SharkScope. At this time, it tracked all the winners in the online games, and it gave how much they were making in a calendar year. Now, nobody blocked themselves in these days, and we decided that, wow, if they can make that much money, maybe we can make at least half of that or a quarter of the money they're making. There seems to be loads of money these guys are making, and it's consistent. We could see each year's rankings, and the same players were in the rankings year after year. So like, there must be some skill to this game, and it must be replicatable. So we had that crazy idea to quit our jobs, which were just rubbish jobs at the time, and move to Thailand to give it a 3-month experiment. So we give ourselves 3 months to go, can we at least cover our living costs in 3 months? If we can, that's a good sign that maybe we should keep going, and we'll take it from there. So we moved to Thailand, clubbed our money together, the little money we had, and we started playing $15 heads-up sit-and-goes. Heads-up sit-and-goes were a game that we identified as quite high earning, like these guys are earning good money, let's give that one a go. So we started playing $15 heads-up sit-and-goes, and it was slow starting. It was harder in the game, but we were just about beating the game at the low level, just about making enough money to cover our living costs, and we're scraping by. Now, months were passing by, and when you first get into poker, it's super fun. I'm sure all you guys can relate to the learning curve in the first few years are super quick and super fun, and it was really enjoyable. And put loads of time into poker and just kind of living and breathing it for a period of time. Now, we were able to go from $15 through to $100 over the first year. Now, it sounds good on paper, but in terms of money, I didn't have anything to show for it. I was still just covering living costs, just had enough money to live off, and I wasn't like living the dream life that my friends thought I was living at the time. I spent some time in Thailand, some time in Bali, but I still hadn't quite got my feet off the ground. So it was the second year of poker that I finally cleared my student debt, finally started to make some money for myself. I remember the first time my bankroll hit 10K, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, I'm the richest person in the world. And I thought, like, yeah, this is awesome. And I was making good money at playing $300 heads-up sit-and-goes by this point, so a couple of years into my career. Now, it got to a point where I was thinking, is this as high as I go? So I was basically making good income, I felt like I was playing well, but there was a lot of better players around me, and I looked at the buy-ins above, and those guys just seemed way better, and I got myself in this mindset where I thought that I wasn't talented enough to go any further, and it wasn't a bad thing at the time. I was kind of content. I was like, maybe this is as good as poker gets for me, but I also wasn't enjoying poker as much as I was previously. So this is like year 3 for me, around 2014, and I'm starting to think, do I want to continue to play poker like the next 2, 3, 4 years? I'm not really enjoying it as much as I used to, and I think everyone else is more talented in this kind of pool I'm in right now. So I started to look for role models, look for some inspiration, someone like I could hold on to and go, guys, show me how to do it. I was looking for all the training packages, looking for watching every video I could see, trying to find some secret sauce that I was missing, some secret strategy that someone would tell me and help me with. And I couldn't find them, and I was getting a little bit demoralized with where I was at poker and if I was able to go any further. Now, I've always been interested in sports. Sport's been something I did sports science at uni because I love sport. And I've always been interested in the kind of the psychology of it and how you can push yourself in. It's you versus you and it's individual pursuit, and you're trying to get the best out of yourself. And I started to think, those guys really apply themselves in a really like professional way. And I looked around the poker market and I thought, everyone, although we call ourselves professional poker players, we kind of treat it like amateurs. We're all just like playing when we feel like it. We wake up when we want to. We grind as much as we want to. We study when we want to. And we didn't have any sort of organization as a poker community. Nobody was really that structured around how they played poker and how they applied themselves. And I could say poker was very, very amateur, especially at that time. It still is now with the way people approached it. And I was playing for the fun still, playing for the enjoyment. And when that kind of went down a little bit, I started to get a bit disheartened, going, oh, it's not as fun anymore, what's the point? And the reason it wasn't as fun anymore is because I stopped making progress. I stopped making progress towards bigger goals, and I stopped looking above where I was and started getting a bit sort of content with where I was. So anyway, side story, I started to read all about successful people in other fields. I couldn't find any role models in poker, so I was like, right, what about all the sports stars I look up to? What about Muhammad Ali's story? What about all the high performers? What about all the successful athletes who are out there and all the people who are killing life who I really look up to? And I started to uncover all these kind of success habits. How do people have success in everything they do? And I started to go, what am I saying if I approached poker like a professional athlete? Not like in terms of physically, but poker is like a mental, it's like the mental Olympics, being a poker athlete compared to the physical Olympics of being a track and field athlete. And I started to think, what if I was treated like a professional? Maybe I'm not talented enough. Maybe I haven't got what it takes. Maybe these guys are just way better than me. But maybe I just haven't been applying myself. And I started to go, okay, I want to be an actual professional poker player. I want to treat it like a professional. So I started to build habits, routines, systems to allow me to get the best out of myself. And I stopped comparing myself to everyone else. I started comparing myself to the guy who played above me, the guys who played different levels. And I started to get obsessed with my performance. Every day, every week, every month was me versus me. How do I get better? Now, this mindset switch of focusing more on me, focusing on my routines, my habits, my performance, allowed me to start having some breakthroughs. And I started to realize, okay, at first I wasn't as good as everyone else, but I was soon getting better because every day I was working towards some goals. So I set clear goals for myself, set a plan to achieve those goals, and then I focused on building habits and routines to execute that plan. And I was almost like the tortoise. You know, like the tortoise versus the hare. The tortoise wins over the long run because the hare burns out. And I was like, I'm the tortoise. I'm just like slow and steady, but I was making progress. Over time, I was realizing I was overtaking the guys at my level. I was one of the best players at the mid-stakes heads-up sitting goals. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm one of the best players at my level. So I started cracking out the volume and really starting to like trying to make really good money for myself. Now, at this point, I hit another plateau where I started idolizing the guys who played like the 1Ks. The 1K level was the highest heads-up sitting goal lobby. And I just thought those guys were too good for me. I thought I was limiting myself, my belief system. But because I was working hard and I had all these habits and routines and all these systems that are about my own performance, I felt confident that maybe these guys aren't doing what I'm doing. Maybe they're not approaching poker, they're not looking after their mind, their body in the same way I am, and maybe that's going to be my edge. Maybe I can outthink them, I can be smarter than them and come out from a different angle and get results. And that's exactly what happened. So I decided, me and my friends decided to jump to the highest stakes in our game, battle the best guys, which was a bloodbath for a long time, and it was make or break. My habits and routines and my mindset allowed me to play the best guys in my game. Finally, I was able to earn their respect and share lobbies with them, which is how the heads-up sitting goal lobby works. And I became one of the top 5, at least top 10 heads-up sitting goal players in the world for a number of years, which I held that position from like 2015 to 2017 until I retired and moved on to coaching. And I achieved all my goals for poker. And when I look back and I'm like, I had no poker talent. Like, I wasn't the guy who was gifted. I wasn't the guy who had it all figured out. The mathematician or the field-based player who just knows what to do in sports. I just figured a way to get the best out of myself day after day, and I got obsessed with that pursuit. So then I started thinking, okay, I achieved my poker goals. I had great success with that. What was if I could help other players implement the same things that I implemented? What was if I told poker players, okay, it's not about the strategy sites. It's not about obsessing over hand histories. It's not about going over one-off hands and solvers. It's about forget all like the technical stuff. You need to make it a game of you versus you, and you need to get into getting the best out of yourself. You need to master your own mindset, your own performance, and if you do that, you're almost guaranteed to figure out the technical stuff. Because technical stuff, you get lost in the weeds, lost in the noise, and going, how do you play this hand? How do you perfect all this stuff? And you get lost in the intricacies when there's a bigger picture. If you zoom out, you can say, okay, what matters is me making progress every day. How do you do that? Routines, habits, and becoming a high performer. So now my pursuit, my mission as a coach is to show players there's a different way to approach poker. Most of you guys are stuck in amateur mode. You're stuck in approaching poker. I'll play when I feel like playing. I'll go to bed when I want. I'll eat when I want. I'll study when I want. And it's all based on like, fun in the short term, what you enjoy doing. Now, the players I work with, I transition them to being more professional and getting systems and routines that allow you to achieve goals that are unique to you. Everyone's got goals they want to achieve. When you think about it, it's exciting to have goals that you're aiming for, and you build the habits and routines around that. So on top of that, I've started to build a community of poker players in my Winner's Edge club who are all on the same path, who are all into optimizing their performance, all into developing themselves as a person. At the end of the day, poker's got two objectives in my head. The first one is to create financial wealth for yourself, because poker is a game of kind of making money is the main part of it. There is some achievement that goes with it, but the second one is creating a life that you enjoy, that you're fulfilled with, that you really feel like you've built yourself up to a person that can move on to other things after poker if you want to. And I'm really passionate about helping poker players find their purpose with poker so that they can become that fulfilled person who enjoys their life and goes on to their things. So that's the mission I'm on right now. You guys are going to hear a lot about the Winner's Edge Club that I've started, which is all about optimizing these performance habits and getting you guys thinking about poker like a professional instead of an amateur. So hope you guys got some value from this video. If you did, give it a comment, give it a like, let me know your thoughts, and there's going to be plenty more poker content coming from me very soon.